Hey guys, nice to see you again. Today we're going to be testing out the Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser Primer. This primer was requested by Brie, and this is a drugstore primer. You can get it for about 12 Canadian dollars. I got mine at Shoppers Drug Mart. Doesn't have a lot of information on the tube, but if you check out the website, it does say that the makeup primer leaves skin with a baby, smooth, and matte finish, and it's supposed to moisturize all day. It's non-comedogenic and fragrance-free, which is awesome. And the website instructions say to apply a thin layer to the skin, and then it can be worn with or without a moisturizer. Now, I've already gone ahead and applied a moisturizer, and it's been maybe 5 or 10 minutes since I did apply my moisturizer. You're so bad. Just give me a minute. As I get ready for the day today, I'm going to be applying primer to half of my face and leaving the other half of my face blank, and then checking in throughout the day as usual to see how it performs. I'm going to be wearing my kind of everyday HG foundation today, the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup Foundation. Let me get my face on. The primer is this clear kind of jelly, and it actually kind of reminds me of the Smashbox primer, where it's kind of, well, the first ingredient is dimethicone, and it's just kind of a silicone-y feeling primer. I've read, and I have no idea if it's true, that it's better if you press it into your skin rather than just like rubbing it on. So I'm just going to apply a really thin layer everywhere. It does leave the skin feeling really nice and smooth. And even though I didn't take very much, I have a ton left over. So a little goes a long way. Let me just finish up my foundation. Looking at my skin, I would say this is the side that does not have primer, and this is the side that does have primer. I would say that texture-wise, maybe this side does look a tiny bit better, but it also looks a little bit worse just kind of along the side of my nose. I don't know if that's just because the side of my nose is drier or wet. Obviously, it's first thing in the morning, and this foundation is pretty matte, so I don't really notice a difference in terms of matteness between the two sides of my face. I'm just going to finish up the rest of my makeup really quickly, and I'll be right back. Alright, looking good, so let's hop over to Natural Light and see what it looks like. I'm going to wear it for the next 12 hours. Makeup application went on really nicely either side. I would say in terms of pores, they both look pretty similar. So now it's just to see if it will keep me matte and moisturized throughout the day. Let's go. Alright guys, it's the end of the day. Overall, I've had a really good oil day. I haven't blotted or repowdered once, so I think I'm doing really well. But I do think that this side, sans primer, looks more oily than the side with primer. So even though it's a really silicone-y primer, I think it actually did help with oil control. We can test this theory approximately with some blotting sheets. But yeah, I'm gonna say. So after blotting, there's enough grease that it's hard to tell which is which, but this is the side with the primer. This is the side without the primer. So the sheet's pretty much filled up, but I still do think the side with the primer was slightly less oily, and it was fairly visible in the mirror when I was comparing side to side. I didn't notice any textural difference. I think my pores looked equally good on, or bad, on either side. And in terms of foundation wear, Douglas, when I asked him if he noticed any difference between the two sides of my faces, said the side with primer looked a little bit more yellow than the side without primer, which would indicate that my foundation, which is a little bit more yellow based than my skin, wore a little bit better than the side, again, without primer. So it wasn't a huge difference, but it was definitely noticeable. And Doug didn't really know what he was looking at.
I never do.
I think this is actually a primer that did something, you guys. This is the first one that I think actually made me less oily and my foundation wear a little bit longer. Obviously after 12 hours it's still looking pretty worn down, but I do think it actually made a difference. So overall, I'm gonna give this Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser, what should I give it? I think I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5. There's really nothing bad about it. The fact that it's nothing but silicones might not be the best for our faces, but it's cheap. It actually did make a difference. I don't think it does what it claims to do in terms of blurring out pores, and I'm not too sure if it made a difference in terms of like how moisturized I feel. But being kind of oily anyway, that's never really a problem to me. Although when I did first apply it in the morning, that one side of my nose did kind of have a little bit of like dry patches compared to the other side. I would totally recommend, if you're looking for a primer and you haven't had success with a primer so far, this one seems to have done something for me. And I'm going to continue experimenting with other foundations in my collection to make sure it's like keeping my wear time and oil control in tip-top shape. But yeah, Maybelline did a good one. So with that, I will sign off for now. Of course, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't subscribed already. If you want to help me out, make sure you share this with any other people who might find it interesting or who are looking for a primer that may or may not work for their skin. You can also check me out on Patreon, and I just want to extend a special thank you to my current 9 Patreons. Aside from that, I will see you all tomorrow in my next beauty video. Bye! Bye, doggy!